Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and I've got some goodies to share with you. The scent of the day is Strawberry Kiwi from JIC. This is a wax melt. You can also get candles. The scents are soy and they have jewelry involved. This is a ring that I got out of one of mine. When you order it, you can choose what size ring, but you don't know what the ring will be. It'll be a surprise. So today I'm sharing with you some of the goodies and things that I did while at the Creativation in Phoenix, Arizona. I got to work with the Canvas Corp brand's booth, which includes the 7 Gypsies, Tattered Angels, and of course Canvas Corp brands. And then I also worked with the Arena Paper Foils booth as well. And while I was there, I got to take in the sights and some of the make and takes and whatnot around the whole arena. So I want to share with you a few things that I got to do while at the show. Just because it's in my hand, I'll show you right off the bat. Over at the Beacon booth, they had a make and take where you could make this little pocketbook with their Beacon glues. They had some Prima flowers and bling, and it was just a little book that you could use. It's a little purse that has a little string, so they had us use their glue to glue the string in. The lace is glued on with a clear glue, so you can't see how it was glued on. All of the flowers are glued on as well as the little bling. And as far as I could tell, it seems to be holding really well. I haven't used this. I just put it in my stash, but I think it's really super cute. So I'll set this aside. I'm trying to get a pile here. Put it in this bag. I walked around and I met a very wonderful gentleman with his name was Lee, and this was Power Adhesives, and I haven't even used this yet, but what this device is, I've left it in the packaging until I was ready to talk about it. This is designed to help you save your hot glue. So when you have a glue gun that has the large size, so you can see that this would be the large size, not a small glue gun, and say you're changing colors or you want to mix your own colors, so you have a glitter glue stick in here, or you have a different color glue like blue or purple or something, and you don't want to use all of it, you can squirt it into, there's a hole here, maybe hard to see, you squirt it into this while this is resting on a non-stick surface like my mat that I have here. You squirt it into this slowly, and you want to make sure that it's a very high temp glue gun, and it'll slowly fill this chamber up. When the glue comes to the top, you stop, and then you move over to the next chamber. There's 4 chambers. Once this is cooled, then you can pop the glue sticks out and then reuse them in your gun. So I got to talk to this gentleman, and he let me have one of these to try out. So I'm going to test it out here in a couple of days, and I'll get back to you and show everyone the results. Another thing that I got while I was walking around, this is from Pro Tape Specialties. This is supposed to be a art version of masking tape. They gave these out to people walking by, and I got to talk to them a little bit about this tape. They've been around in the tape industry for about 30 years, they told me. I had never heard of them though. This artist tape apparently is relatively new on the market in the public. It's been on the market in the wholesale scene, I guess, but not necessarily on the public side where you could just walk in and get it. So I got a few samples of this, and I plan to try this out. It was free. Some other things that I got while walking around was a make and take that was with the Tim Holtz booth. The assistant for Tim Holtz. I believe that's Mario. I always forget his name. Anyhow, he spent all of his time creating the kits. And so the idea is you sat down and you were given this tray. So you sat down at the Tim Holtz booth and you were given this tray. They had the paper already put in the back. You were given the chipboard piece and a clip, the word lucky in pieces, the ruler, this little tag that said number on it, and the star and a flatware, as well as this charm and a brad. Then they had a pile of little ephemera pieces that you could dig through and choose your own. They had distressing ink that you could then go around the edges and distress the piece here, as well as the ruler. Then they gave us glue to glue everything down. They gave us pop dots, and they had markers so that we could color in the butterfly or flowers or whatever image that we chose. And then we got to take that with us. It was a really neat make and take at the Tim Holtz booth. So I really enjoyed that. It's kind of neat. It kind of makes me want to think of other things of how I could put them in a shadow box of some kind. Back at the Beacon booth again, they had this little thing, and it may be hard to figure out what it is. It has a little easel back. The back side is scrapbook paper. It's from Clear Snaps. That's the acrylic piece. They had 3 different designs. They had one that was very straight. They had one that was scalloped all the way around, and one that was like this. And with Beacon's glue, you were to glue around the edge, and then you could adhere embellishments. I chose a little butterfly that they had and this bling. But this is a cell phone holder, so you can put your cell phone on here and be able to watch a video or be able to see things on your cell phone with this. And I thought that was pretty clever little thing that they were giving away that you could make and take and see how the glue worked. Over at the Rena paper foil, Steph was working in the booth and she made these really great bracelets using the Rena paper foil. These were all out of scraps of paper, and then she added these gold beads and this memory wire. I thought that was really sweet because she took the time to make all of these, and then she did a make and take so anybody that walked in the booth could have these. I wore this little brooch to show what could be done with the paper foil. It's a little rough now because I threw it in my luggage on the way home, but it went over really well. I enjoyed working in the Rena booth and showing people what the paper could do. Also, while I was walking around, I got to learn a little bit about the deco, not deco, it was deco foil by iCraft in Thermoweb. So they took the time to show me how the stickiness of this glue works, how their pieces that they have could be die cut, and that the foil would adhere to it. It was really kind of neat how they were working that in their booth. Made me want to break out the foil again. Used to be something that I played with years ago, and maybe that would be something I'll play with again. I made out like a bandit with glue dot. Pardon me. I went by their booth and I ended up with 2 bags of glue dot adhesive. So they have a refillable, precise glue dot little tape runner that you can use on your paper goods and whatnot. And then they have one that's a multi-use glue dot. I got a couple of those. And then I got a couple of the extended use and length This is the temporary adhesive. And then I was working on a project and went over there and asked for some glue strips because of what I was working on, and said, could I have a couple of samples of those? And they gave me all of these little bits and pieces. And I don't know if you can tell, it's perforated in here. If you have a Teflon coated pair of scissors, you can cut these. If you don't, you'll have a gummed up pair of scissors. Thankfully, my Fisker scissors fit that. I was able to cut these into strips and work on my project at the Canvas Corp booth. So I was really thankful that they were very kind and courteous in giving out these great samples, because they came in very handy in the booth. I went over to the, oh, this is another one of the glue dot things. This little paper clip and little bling, and they had these really gooey, thick glue dots, and this is really stuck on there. These are great big glue dots. They're awesome. I went over to the Die Cuts with a View booth, and they had these little canvas zipper bags that they were allowing us to paint on, and they let me have the stencil because they were just going to throw it away. So the stencil is adhesive on the back side. It's like, reminds me of screen printing in that where the A is on here is see-through, but there it's not a hole all the way through, meaning my finger won't go through there. It's like screen. And so you laid that down, and then they had some Martha Stewart acrylic ink and a dauber, and you just daubed your paint on there, and then you peel off the stencil, and that revealed what happened to your item. And then they used a hair dryer to dry it really quick like. And I thought that was a really clever way of doing a make and take to really see how these products work well together. And I believe these stencils are already available in Hobby Lobby, is what I was told. And the bags you can order from them. But of course, if you're going to order canvas bags, get them from Canvas Corp, because personally, these bags were really cheap. The ones from Canvas Corp were much better. Let's see, I went over to the, I forgot the name of it all of a sudden. This was the Easy Cast, and the resin type stuff. So they had this casting stuff that they had a hard item, and then they gave you this Easy Cast product that you painted onto your item, and then you just kept building up layers, and they left it on a surface for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then it adhered and got hard, and then you peeled it off and you had a mold. And then with this mold, you can then pour resin in it. What they did was, it was a two-part make and take. You got to make the mold, which took a while, so you didn't actually get to use your mold, you got to use one of their molds. You got to walk over and make a necklace or pendant. So then you take Pearl X powder, mica powder, and you smoosh that into the mold in the colors you want. You blow out by blowing into it, and then get out the excess, and then you pour resin inside here, and once it hardens, you have a beautiful pendant. And I thought this was really neat. It's supposed to be reminiscent of a dragon's egg, if you didn't notice. Kind of going to the, I forgot the name of the show that has the dragons in it, that Game of Thrones. So that's what that's supposed to be, and I thought that was really cool. So I got an actual pendant, and I got a mold that I can use. I got to see Carol Doobie And she was over doing jelly prints, and when she was done with them, she was just making a pile, and she said, take a jelly print with you. And I thought, I love these colors. I just love how they turned out. And it's just copy paper that she made them on, but they'll be great to use in an art project sometime. But I thought, I've got a piece of Carol Dubie's actual art right here in my hot little hand. May not mean anything to anybody else, but I thought it was kind of neat. I went over to the Clear Snap booth, and they had a stencil and some cream paint that you mushed into the stencil, and then you got this beautiful little panel that you could use in artwork or frame. And I thought that was really neat. The lady that was doing the demo had this beautiful bright pink hair, and I just loved her personality, and I wish I would have got her card because I really enjoyed her. By the time I got over to her, she said she was already out of business cards. That's how popular they were. I got to go over to the, her name was Lisa. I'm trying to remember her name. I've got all these business cards. She created her own, Lisa Marie. She is the creator of Colorbox Colorique, and she created this product that can be used to color and paint metal and jewelry items. And her make and take, she had us daub on this paint product onto this piece of jewelry that has an etched design. Then she heat set it for us with a heat tool. Once that was cool, we took basically a sanding block and sanded on here to reveal the color below. So I chose not to remove all the color. I liked some of the messiness of leaving that turquoise on there. And then we got to take these earrings. So I thought that was really neat to see what Colorbox and Lisa had come up with together. Over at the, I've forgotten the name of the charity booth. There was a charity booth that was at the show, and we got to make these really cute hats. They were felt hats that they had originally started making by cutting them by hand. So they were hand cutting these, and then they did a partnership with Sizzix, and they got a die created. So then they were able to run these through the Sizzix dies. You can see that we got a little glittery ribbon, we have feathers, they have these butterflies, so all these embellishments, and for a donation to their art charity, which is a organization that gives back to the community through art, through helping people to get through rough and difficult times through art expression. And so I sat down with Marie Nicole Designs, and we made hats together, and I just loved it so much that I ordered this die because I knew I just had to have this die because I had to make more of these hats. And after talking with these ladies, I went back to the Canvas Corp booth, and I brought back, and my hat got squished a little bit, but I brought back some of the Tattered Angels Origins papers and asked them if they would die cut it. And they did. They die cut this paper, and it turned out fabulous. It works great as a hat. It colored really well with the glimmer mists on here. I used some of the Seven Gypsies papers. These were just things we had laying around in the booth. When you're at Creativation, it's not like a typical show where things are for sale. These are all things that are for show. So you don't have products that you can pull off and use. You can only use certain things. So we were finding things that weren't tied down, if you want to use that phrase, and we made art with them. So these were sample things that we had in our booth and bits and pieces that some of us brought with us, or we went to other vendors. That's where I used the glue dot, was in here around the crown of this hat, so that I could make this hat. The gems were from another vendor that sold gems and rhinestones. They were giving them away. We had another vendor that gave us glue. So it was kind of a joint effort to be able to make this hat outside of the charity booth, because I'd have to go back to their booth and use hot glue or their gems, but this was just all made with items that we had on hand. And so it was a lot of fun to be able to do that. One of the other things that we did was at the Canvas Corp Brands booth was, again, we found objects, we found bits and pieces, and we made art. We decided to have a sit and play table. It was a round table that could hold probably about 8 people at a time. It was cramped. And we had samples, and we had glimmer mists, and we had pieces of canvas, and we had packaging and scraps of paper and just this, that, and the other. And the whole concept was just sit and play. There was no structure to it. And so I just sat and played. This is a piece of burlap. This is a piece of canvas. This is a piece of lace that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. I purchased some jute from the Dollar Tree. This is a moth from one of the Tattered Angels Origins papers, and I used a paintbrush dipped into the glimmer mist and painted it. This design in the background is from one of the 7 Gypsies architectures. It's designed to either be a stencil or a sticker, and I chose to use it as a stencil piece and just sprayed with the Tattered Angels. And now it's just a nice little art piece that I can use. I can put it in a journal, I can put it in a frame, I can do anything with that. I just had fun with it. It was just kind of something fun to do. I got lots of connections while I was there, met lots of really cool people. Punch Bunch was a punch company that I loved years ago. I used to buy a lot of punches from them in order to make flowers, and now they're back in business. I've made a lot of connections with people that I'm probably going to end up doing some more designing for, so that makes me happy as well. One of the nights we went out to eat at a really nice bistro brewery. It was called Hello Basin Brewery Company, and they had awesome burgers and beers and ice cream. Oh my gosh, the ice cream was amazing. Sandra, oh, I forgot how to say her last name, Everstein, I believe, had her bisque resin jewelry there and pieces, and so she was allowing us to take a couple of pieces. So I've got a couple here that I'll be working on. I'll do a video when I go to paint these and make up into jewelry art pieces. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to make it into jewelry or if I'm going to make it into an art piece, but it was really nice of her to give us some of those on the design team. And I'm trying to think, what else do I have here? Oh yes, part of Creativation, they gave out bags to the participants. If you paid to go, you got a bag full of stuff. Well, I didn't pay to go, but I was able to get a bag. And actually, I found another bag. Somebody left it on the floor, so I picked it up. Well, inside the bag was coupons and information about vendors and stamp sets. My Sentiments Exactly had stamp sets, and these are nice little stamp sets. They're like probably almost $10 stamp sets, and I found 2 of them. I was so excited because I love stamps. Who hasn't seen my room? You know I love stamps. And then I was talking to the people at the Sizzix booth. I went back with some of the Tattered Angels papers and asked them if they would cut it for me. These are bracelet dies. So I had them cut strips, and these are designed to be made into a bracelet. So I'm going to decorate this. I'm going to try some different products from Tattered Angels and see how those turn out as bracelets. This is a bigger die as well. And then here's one that's got these flowers. And then I went back to the hat place and they made some more dies for the hat. So until I get my hat die, I have a few extras that I can play with. After the show, oh wait, let me show you one last thing. This is the Architecture's newest product that they've come out with. The release was phenomenal. This is such wonderful product. This has great texture and detail to it. They were in booth number 1769. And everybody loved the texture and the fact that when you pulled off the product, you could use the packaging. That was a great plus that a lot of people had. And we, as designers, had a great time playing with the bits and pieces that they would let us have. And it was very well received. I believe that the owners were very happy with how the show was received, how the customers came through, liked the product, and the orders that were placed. So I was very proud to be a part of this show and see the launch of Architectures at the show. After the show, I got to go shopping at a couple of places. My husband and I took an extended vacation because we drove from Oklahoma to Phoenix. So after we left Phoenix, we went to Las Vegas. We went to Viva Las Vegas Rubber Stamps, which is one of my favorite places to go. And I ended up picking up a few things while I was there. And I always love going because Jeff, that now runs it, he always puts some little funny thing in the sack. And here's a little pink flamingo, because you got to have one of those. And I picked up a few stamps. Like this stamp is a PSX stamp that was in their clearance bin, and it was $2. Friends are kept forever in the heart. Isn't that a pretty stamp? I thought that would be a great saying. But I love these sayings that I found, and then I found this little one that I thought would be a great Christmas stamp for next year, or this year actually, from Viva Las Vegas Stamps. And this one is funny, I think. The bad news is I forgot your birthday. The good news is I forgot your age. Another birthday, I sure hope I look as good. I look as good when I'm your age. But why worry so far ahead? And then this one I like. She spread her wings. So I thought that would be a good little saying to add things. So that's what I got at Viva Las Vegas Stamps in Las Vegas. If you've never been there, you have to go because they have, I don't know, probably 100,000 stamps. It's a bunch. It's a lot of stamps. From there, I ended up going to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I visited a little stamp store in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It was called, why don't I have the piece of paper with their name on it? One moment. The name of the store is Guadalupe's Fun Rubber Stamps, Santa Fe Art Stamps, and they're in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And they hand stamp their bags or shopping bags. New Mexico, they don't have plastic bags for shopping bags. They have to be paper or they have to be cloth. And I noticed at Hobby Lobby, because I did go there too, you have to buy bags if you want a bag, or you have to bring your own. So they stamped on the outside. She was using a rainbow stamp pad, and they stamped the back. I thought that was really cool. I got this little stamp set that is a little adobe birdhouse, a little sign, and then it has these little sayings. And the reason I bought this was because this tiny little words, Merry Christmas. I love the little birdhouse. This was really cute, but what sold it was the little Merry Christmas, because see how tiny it is? It's little bitty. I was needing this last year and I could not find one anywhere, and the whole set was $5. It's like, you can't beat this bargain. They're really great. And I thought these will be fun to play with, especially with this little sign. I can use that on other things. It doesn't have to necessarily be for this stamp set. Super cute. The other thing that I got while I was there is I love this sugar skull. I did not have a sugar skull in my collection. I've looked at them several times. I almost bought one at Viva Las Vegas Stamps, and I'm like, well, I'll wait. And so I ended up buying this one, and I love it. It's a great stamp. It's a little pricey. It was $17.99, but I love my wood-mounted stamps because I like looking at them. To me, they're an art piece of themselves because you can see them, and then I tend to use them more often if I see them. The other things that I got was diamond glaze. I was out of diamond glaze. I used to use this all the time in my artwork, and I would get it every time I would go to a stamp convention when I go down to Grapevine, and I haven't been in a while, so I was out, and my local store that I used to get it from didn't carry it, and I forgot to ask my other store that I go to, so I was helping this one out. I got it from them. One of the other things that I got was a lady decided to get out of the paper art. She's going to be making jewelry exclusively. So she was selling all of her paper stuff. And so I got this little heart stamp for $1. I didn't have this little primitive heart in my collection. I like punches. They've just been something that I've always liked. And the last thing that I got from the store, look at this. I got this huge bag. I got 2 of them. I got these 2 bags of unmounted stamps. These were $1.99 for 2 bags each. $1.99 each. And there's a bunch of things in there. There's some Happy Halloween. I think that looks like a Halloween stamp. There's some little fish. There's some little shrubbery. There's Merry Christmas, Let It Snow. There's all kinds of stuff in here, trick-or-treat stuff. There's some things that I may not have purchased on my own. Like here's a little bat. That's kind of cute. I may not purchase them on my own. There's a little witch. But now that I have them, they're in my collection. I'll be able to use them. Like here's a tumbleweed. Or you could use that as a sea, what do I want to call that? What is that stuff that grows underneath the water and it gets hard? And coral. My words were failing me. So, I mean, these are great stamps that I may not have purchased on my own, but like Happy Anniversary, that's a great stamp. I can use that in my stuff. And I got 2 bags of these. They were $1.99 each. And I got some confetti and some embossing powder. So these are great stamps, and I was excited. I was like, wow, these are only $1.99. That's awesome. You still have some here? I couldn't buy any more. I was running out of room in my luggage. While I was in Santa Fe, I stopped at a little hemp store, and I found this really pretty hemp cord. I got a purple and a pink. I thought this would be good to use to add embellishments to things, tie little bows, use to make a journal, tie and make bracelets or jewelry out of. But I thought these were really pretty colors, and I liked the way they look, so I bought some of that. I said that I went to Hobby Lobby. I went there and I got this really cool bling ribbon that I'm going to use in some of my artwork. I thought this would be fun because I can cut it apart. I can cut it into small strips. I can use it any old way I want. It was half price. It was normally $9.99, and I got 2 of these for $9.99. I'd gone down the clearance aisle, and I got, it's a 12-month calendar that went from August to, I think it goes till July or June, of the Happy Planner, but it was $3.99. I thought, you know, I can alter this. I can go in here and just put art on the pages that I'm not going to care about. And the really reason that I bought this is because I bought the Happy Planner Punch, and I wanted the rings so I could make a different journal. And the rings cost more than $3.99. And this way I have a clear cover. I have some insert pieces. I have some nice paper to play with for less. So, and while I was there, they had some extra pocket pages, dividers that you could use. These were little pockets. So I thought those were kind of cool, and they were pretty cheap too, so I bought those. And then I visited, oh yeah, I forgot these. These were from the stamp store as well in Santa Fe. I've been looking at this Lawn Fawn little unicorn, and I just had to have him because he's super cute and I like unicorns. And I got the die. And then because of those, I had to buy a cloud die so that I can make clouds so he can look like he's in the clouds. And I'm taking forever on this video. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope you got something to drink. I ended up going to Dollar Tree, and I found some more ribbon and jewels and stuff. I thought these would look great on the hats when I get the hat die. I thought those would look great around the brim of the hat. And then while I was at Tuesday Morning, because they were having an additional 25% off all their clearance items, and then some of these were just good prices to begin with, I found these Prima butterflies. I don't know if you can see those really well. That were $1.99. They were $5, and I thought these would be great little embellishments to add to all kinds of stuff. If you haven't figured out, I like butterflies. And then I found these are all 12-inch strips. This whole package is different kinds of butterflies, and they were 99 cents. And then these have some gold butterflies and then just different strips of borders. But I thought those would be great to use on cards and other projects, or around the brim of the hat, the band of the hat. And I found this little set of stickers that says I'm an artist, and it was 25% off. It was even more than 25% off, if I remember right. And then I found this die set that was from Sizzix that makes these flowers, and it has all these pieces to make the flowers. And I got this die set that makes Travel, Explore, and Discover, because I've got a travel journal I'm about to work on. So this will be great for that. I'll put that with it. And then I loved these little pinwheels. I don't know if y'all remember growing up ever blowing into a pinwheel and watching it spin. They were so fun. And I saw this little die set and I went, what? What is this? And so I thought, okay, I'll get it. And it was discounted for way less than $6.99. It was normally $24.99, and I got it for way less. So I thought this will be kind of fun to play with. I may use this on the Rena paper foils. Oh my gosh, that was a marathon. I showed you all kinds of neat things. I've got lots to show you in upcoming videos with playing with all this good stuff that I've got. Other great things in the works. I hope you enjoyed my recap of CHA, or what's called Creativation. They're changing the name even next year. It'll be something else, and I hope to get to go again next year. You'll get to see some of my goodies as I use it in my artwork. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like, subscribe, comment anything that you have questions about or what your thoughts were. Share what you've been doing in your art and what your thoughts are on Creativation or shopping sprees. Again, thanks so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day. Bye.